Yo, 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 what it do, baby? Not the intro you guys are used to, but it's the intro we needed, especially because the other one, for some whatever reason, didn't want to work. But welcome, everybody, to the Sports Drip Live podcast alongside my brother from the same mother, Enrique Contreras. My name's Jose, coming to you live from the JCA studio. What's going on, Rick?
What's going on, man? Hey, you know what? The intro was sick nonetheless, man. I loved it. For
I
as short
know.
as what I mean, hey, whatever works, man. It was really good. I liked it.
Absolutely, 100%. And we're going to be really good because we have a really good show for you guys today. We are going to review UFC London and UFC Fight Night, which was in London this past Saturday night. Ricky, we're also going to preview UFC 277, which is this Saturday night. And of
Yep.
course, we have a lot of wrestling topics to talk about. Vince McMahon
Yep.
retiring, Triple H, head of creative. Whew. Well, how that now changes the landscape, tips the scales, and and what balance for wrestling in general. We're gonna get it here. We're gonna have it all for you live tonight in our Sports Drip Live episode. But Ricky, let's start off with UFC, man.
Let's do it.
You let's start off with UFC, and this past Saturday night we had what was supposed to be a treat. Let me play this real quick. Well, we're supposed to have a tree Ricky between Blades and Aspinall, and another freakishly quick ending to what could have been, what should have been a great pay per
Yeah.
view. Blades versus Aspinall, guys. The UFC has hit a bad streak of luck as of late with the second consecutive main
That's
event
two in a
ruined.
row. Yep, two in
Yeah,
a row.
ruined on a Saturday. Ruined on Saturday by a freak injury. A highly anticipated heavyweight matchup between Curtis Blades and Tom Aspinall. Um, just it ended 15 seconds into the first round when Aspinall suffered a right knee injury. Yikes, Ricky. Aspinall, who was from England, grabbed his right knee in pain after bringing the leg back from an outside leg kick. Blades raised his arms in confusion as referee Herb Dean intervened. Officially, the result of the fight is a victory for Blades via injury TKO. Now, this happens a week removed from from fight night from last week. A featherweight fight between Brian Ortega and Yari Rodriguez ended in the first round when Ortega dislocated his shoulder, and that fight only lasted 15 seconds. Ricky, what the hell is going on here?
Hey, I can ask you the same question, man. What the hell is going on here? That's two fight nights in a row, two main events in the fight nights, in fight nights in a row that it ended prematurely, anticlimactic, injuries. I mean, look, it's like we said it last week, and we'll say it again here, man. It's part of the game. This is a very dangerous sport, and accidents happen, and they happen very frequently. Most of the time, a lot of guys can't even make it to fights because they get hurt during training camp, which is the
Right.
hardest thing to do. Even that some would say that's even harder than the fight itself. But yeah, man, Tom Aspinall, he just threw. I mean, I remember seeing this fight, and I saw Blades. He threw a right at the same time that Aspinall threw a kick, and I'm thinking. And as soon as Aspinall went down, I thought, oh shit, he got him with a punch, and here we go. But no, man, he went down, held his knee. It looked like some kind of ACL tear, man. I haven't really checked the update on, unless you have the injury update on Tom Aspinall, but at the moment, it looked like it could have been some kind of ACL tear or something, man, because he was grabbing his. When they showed the replay, we didn't see the no shin break or anything, but I guess I don't know if he injured it when he landed the kick or when he landed his leg back.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, man, yeah, that was I mean, unfortunate end to this main event, which I was looking forward to, bro. Because I mean, in those first 15 seconds, those guys were going at it, man. They were going
Yep.
for it, And I was figuring somebody's gonna go down, man, because these guys were throwing some heavy leather, and then this happened. So
Yep.
yeah, man, sucks. Two main events in a row.
Yeah, two main events in a row. It sucks because you mentioned like this should have been a really really good fight, but for whatever reason we don't. I'm trying to look up to see exactly what it said. All I'm reading is that it's a knee injury. They're
Yeah,
not really saying. They say although an official diagnosis of Aspinall injury has not yet been revealed, the belief is that the English fighter suffered a tear to one of the ligaments in his right knee. So I guess that's the speculation right now is
right.
that he tore either a meniscus or maybe his ACL. Well, we'll find out
Hopefully
when
it
the
ain't the
reports come
ACL,
out.
man. Hopefully it's not the ACL, man, because that can mean he'll be out for a very long time. So
Yeah, regardless
oh
of the fact it's a freak injury that shouldn't have happened. Ricky, had it not happened, who do you think would have won this fight and why?
man, I came into this fight picking Aspinall to win, but seeing Blades in there, man, that dude is heavy handed, man. I mean, he was just one punch away from putting his lights out. So as the fight was going on, I was like, "Oh shit, man! If Tom Aspinall is coming in, being in the pocket like this, I could have saw Curtis Blades winning this fight by knockout or
Yeah.
TKO."
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he looked like he was ready to go. He did.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looked like he was ready to go. Nonetheless, it's a win for him. Do you think? Um, do you? Well, I guess two part question, right? A, where does Blades go? I mean, it's a win. It's a win in the win column. So you got to expect for either him to either stay in the ranking he is or move up. And B, can you see a rematch in the future? Maybe not in the near future due to the injury of Aspinall, but can you see these guys go to blows one more time?
I could see it, man. Just it just depends on where Blades goes from here. But I think he does get the winner of Cyril Gane and Taito Iwasa.
Okay.
That's what I see next for Blades. Being that he won this fight. But yeah, another fight with Tom Aspinall somewhere down the line. I could definitely see it.
And for
I
Tom
would.
Aspinall, Ricky, this counts as a loss.
Yeah.
It sucks, but him coming back healthy, do you think he can regain that momentum that he had coming in here?
I think so. I think so, man. This is just a roadblock for him. He'll definitely come back, man. He's very talented, big man, and a lot. He's very good on the jujitsu, and he has a lot of power in his strike. So yeah, I think he'll come back. Hopefully it's not as serious, as we're hoping it's not as serious, and he'll be
Yeah,
back, within a few months or so. And but yeah, he'll be back for sure, man. He's definitely in the mix as far as the heavyweight contenders for sure.
absolutely. You guys listen to the Sports Drip Live podcast brought to you by Anchor, sponsored by Anchor. Thank you all for listening. If you guys want to create your own podcast, make sure to download the Anchor app today. They give you all the resources you need to create your own podcast. So make sure to download the Anchor app as soon as you can. All right, Ricky Jack Hermanson brought the momentum of Chris Curtis to an end with a convincing victory in the UFC Fight Night this past Saturday in the co-main event. Harrison Ricky, who is now 23-7 MMA, 10-5 in UFC, bounced back from a February loss to Sean Strickland, and on Saturday he has managed to outstrike Curtis over the course of 3 rounds for unanimous decision win by scores of 29-28, 29-28, and 30-27.
Yeah.
What did you see in this fight, man?
He was pretty dominant. Well, not as dominant, but he was the clear winner in this fight for sure. He was landing the more significant strikes, and Curtis really didn't have much for him. So this fight originally was supposed to be against Darren Till,
Yeah,
and Curtis stepped in, and yeah, just a good win for him, and a way to rebound.
way to rebound for sure, Ricky. Um, as far as Chris, I mean, Jack Hermanson is the one who won the fight, right?
Right.
As far as Chris Curtis goes, where does he go from here?
Well, he needed this win, man, to kind of break to crack into the top. So, the next thing would be for him is to probably fight somebody within that, that the 15, anybody ranked in the top 15. It could be Brad Tavares, who's number 15. So he's still, I believe this was his. I'm not quite sure. I thought I heard him say that this is his debut in the UFC. So if it is, you could say it was octagon jitters or anything like that. But for sure, man, he'll be back. If he fights somebody in the top 15, he can make it. He can make it up there.
Yeah, no, 100%, Ricky. You definitely make it up there. As far as Jack Hermanson goes, Ricky, how does this win propel him further into the rankings?
Well, after losing to Sean Strickland, the way that he did, this is a good rebound for him. Now, as
Yeah,
far as what's next for him, Darren, the original, his original dance partner, Darren Till. That fight should have happened. It was supposed to happen right there in London, Darren Till's backyard. So
yep,
that should be the next. That should be the next fight for him, and then we'll see what he does there.
absolutely. Not a bad fight. Kind of boring, but not bad.
Yeah, the real drama was at the end, I guess, because they still they were they still wanted to fight even afterwards. But
Yeah, that picture I had up there with him flipping him off was basically
yeah,
the reason why.
yeah,
Ricky, moving on to Patty the Baddie Pimblett, and he defeated Jordan. Leave it, Ricky. Patty the Baddie, man, continued his ascension to stardom this past Saturday with another win in front of his home fans.
yeah.
3-0. Patty is now 3-0. Ricky, he stole the show at UFC Fight Night in 208 at the O2 in London when he rallied for a second round submission of Jordan Levitt, who is now 3-2. Afterward, Ricky, in an emotional Pimblett, further endeared himself to a new legion of fans when he spoke about his friend's suicide and encouraged men in particular to not be ashamed to reach out for help in a time of emotional distress.
True.
So Ricky, man, there's a lot to be said about Patty the Baddie Pimblett, man. First off, what a guy for him to to be vulnerable like that in front of a sold out crowd at the O2 Arena. It's amazing, is it not?
It is. Dude has like superstar status right there in London, man. I mean, the people were going crazy for him coming out there.
Yep.
So yeah, this dude is money for sure, man. He is and the UFC is right now they're building him up with the matchups that they're giving him. So he's gonna go places.
No, absolutely, 100%. Going on to the fight, Ricky. Dana White Dana White came out and said that he gives him Conor McGregor vibes. Do you believe something like that?
Nah. As far as the popularity that this guy has in London, you could compare it, I guess, to Conor McGregor's popularity in Ireland, but as far as the personalities, I don't think he's we're talking about Conor McGregor, very brash and very cocky, and always insulting his opponents.
Yeah.
Patty Bimblett doesn't do that. He just goes out there and has fun, man. He's just having fun. So I don't know what Dana's talking about. Maybe he's talking about the popularity, maybe.
Yeah, and he's very popular. I mean, when the dust settles from that fight, Pimblett said it himself. He thinks 3 wins into his UFC career, he's already reached a point that fight night events in England aren't big enough for him. He thinks he needs to be dropped into the world of the major UFC pay-per-view, especially in Las Vegas. You agree with that?
I think. Well, I would say a couple more fights, and yeah, then for sure. I mean, right now, if they keep booking him to fight at the O2 Arena, that place is gonna explode every time he comes out. But yeah, I can see it. Somewhere down the line for sure.
All right. What did you see in this fight, Ricky? Why do you think Patty's been dominant so far?
Well, I mean, he's pretty good all around, man. He's pretty good in the striking, and then he's even better in the ground. So yeah, man. And then against Jordan Levin, who also came into this fight undefeated, also very good on the ground too. He gave him a little test right there. He had Patty Pimblett, my bad. He had him guessing a few times. He had him against the cage, gave him some things to think about. But yeah, I can see Patty. Patty is a very all around fighter. So that's what I see, and that's why he's been having so much success.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But I do disagree a little bit. I think the guy he is a character, but he's more. I think Prada. My bad. I have an alarm. I think Prada put it perfectly here in the comments. He's not a douche like Conor McGregor, which is the reason why he doesn't probably get the same exposure. I mean, when you're like Conor, it's when you're as arrogant as Conor McGregor, you're going to talk a lot of shit. Let's be honest. You're going to talk a lot of crap, and those words alone will give you headlines. Not to mention the way he acts, his demeanor, the cockiness he has in the octagon. Patty's different. He's a character, but I guess in a more positive light. The man's funny. He's quirky, but he's a beast. He is a little beast in the octagon. Now I do admit three fights in the UFC is still 3 fights in the UFC.
Right.
I get you want to be ascended to pay-per-view status, but you still gotta main event at least O2. You know what I mean? Exactly. And I think he's going there. I think his next fight or the next fight they at least have at the O2 in London, it will be a Patty Pimblett main event fight. I think he's that I think he's at least right now he's that kind of star.
He looks like a young Owen Hart, man.
He does look like a young Owen. his regular weight, he puts on weight, bro. He gets,
Yeah,
he eats, he puts on weight.
he's earned the nickname Patty the Fatty when he does when he's when he's not fighting.
But I tell you what, man, like, hey, nothing wrong with that. I think that would be me, low key. That would be me if I was a UFC fighter. I would definitely eat whatever the hell I want to eat
Yeah,
because I do it now, anyways. You know what I
he
mean? But
does
like,
need to be careful though, man, because when your weight goes up and down like that, I mean, it could affect his conditioning. I mean, it's not affecting it right now. We haven't seen any evidence of it yet, but as time goes on, man, he's maybe he might need to think about twice about doing that because the dude just stuffs his face, man, when he's not fighting, and then that's a lot of weight to cut. You're just putting more extra work on your body, man, when you got to prepare for a fight.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's the only thing I got to say about that.
Look, I can see this guy being a star as long as he continues to dominate the way he's dominating. But you're still only 3 fights in the UFC. You're getting your feet wet, young man. Continue it. You know what I mean? Get deeper in the ocean. Let's see if you can swim a little bit. And I mean, look, there's only one way to go, and that's up for Patty Bimblin in my book.
Yeah.
What do you think about his celebration, Ricky? He said he was going to teabag Jordan Levin, man. Is that something you would do if you want to fight?
That's not my thing, man. But whatever floats his boat, man. If that,
Hey, it would either that or Jordan Levin twerking, man. One of the two guys were going to do something after this.
Yeah. I guess pick your poison. I guess, huh?
Absolutely. Oh man, what you think about the card overall, Ricky? UFC in London.
It was not bad. I think the Patty fight was good. The Molly McCann fight too. Patty's best friend right there. Her finish was also very impressive too.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the main event, left a lot more to be desired. It was one of those fights, like I said, that I've been looking forward to, and it ended anticlimactic like that. But nonetheless, man, Curtis Blades is good. His next fight should be good. The winner of Cyril Gane and Taito Ivasa, man. So the heavyweight division is on fire, bro. I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Make sure to follow us on YouTube at JCA Sports. That is where you're able to watch all our episodes, past, future, current. You can also watch it on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, but on YouTube is where it stays. So if you want to watch the rerun, the replay, if you missed an episode, YouTube is where you want to go. That's at JCA Sports on YouTube, and you will find us there and watch all our past episodes here on Sports Drip Live. Getting into the Facebook comments, our good friend Edward Prado, my boy Prada, he's in the comments. Ricky, he's tuned in. We appreciate you, my boy. If someone made me tap out and then twerk, I would leave the bro. I swear to God, bro.
You know what? Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll probably retire, man. How about that?
Man,
I'll be questioning my life decision, man. Like, oh man, I got beat by this dude, and he twerked or teabagged me or shit.
100%, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Ricky, UFC 277 this Saturday night, Pena versus Nunes 2. It was the upset of the century. Nobody gave this woman a chance. We watched it. I forgot what the odds were, but they were tremendously high. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy, and she won decisively. Here we have a second title fight between the two women. Ricky, do you see the same outcome, or can you see Amanda Nunes coming back, reclaiming not only her title but her dominance in that division?
First of all, man, I've become such a fan of Juliana Pena. I love Juliana Pena, man. And for her to beat considered one of the greatest of all time in women's MMA. I mean, bravo to her, man. She did it. She said she did exactly what she said she was going to do. She was going to put the pressure on Nunes, and that's what she did, man. And she basically outboxed her, got her tired, started throwing a lot of wild haymakers, and then finally took her down and submitted her. Didn't even need to sink the hooks.
Right.
Just got it. Amanda was done by that point. So with that said, a lot the odds are on Amanda's favor again, and everybody's picking her to win. Me, on the other hand, I'm going for Juliana to win this fight for the second time.
Yep.
I got Juliana Pena winning this fight, bro.
Really? Juliana Pena to win this fight?
Yes.
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm okay. Maybe I'm rooting for.
You get here on the Sports Drip Live podcast. I don't know.
I don't know. Of course, I know. All right. I think she's gonna do the same thing again, man. Because the thing about it, she said it before, and a lot of people have said it. Amanda Nunes is very dangerous in the first round. All
Yeah.
right. If you can get past the first round, you have a chance with with Amanda Nunes. I think what she's gonna do the same thing that she did in the first fight. She's gonna take her time. She's gonna start jab. She's gonna keep throwing that jab numerous times at Amanda, and if it goes to the ground, it'll go to the ground again. But she's gonna stay in the pocket with Amanda, and she's gonna try to make Nunes, you know, to tire her out again and try to throw those winded shots. And I don't know if it'll end. I don't know if it'll end in a submission again. It could possibly go to a decision. I don't know, but I got her winning.
Will fans relive the shock of Pena's massive upset at UFC 269
Who you got?
against Nunes to
Who you
capture the
got?
UFC Women's Bantamweight Championship? Ricky, I want to agree with you, and only because of momentum, man. Momentum is everything, especially in the sport of the UFC. When you have that momentum on your side, when you have the confidence, when you know you could beat Amanda Nunes, then you know you're good. Now, at the same time, Juliana Pena has to be careful because in the first fight, she was the hunter. She was the one who was hungrier than Amanda. Amanda Nunes eats, and when she eats, she feasts because she's that dominant. But Juliana Pena was hungrier than she was, and that's saying something. That's
Yes.
saying something. Now she got that. Now she was the underdog. She was the one coming up. She was Rocky basically in part one. But what happens, Ricky, in Rocky 3? What happens when what happens in Rocky 3 when he's high of himself, when he's full of himself, when he after he beat uh, numerous champions, after he won the title, he's been there, done that. What happens? He gets started, tends to get soft. Now I'm not saying Joanna Pena is there yet, right? Because she had just won it.
No, if anything, I think that was Amanda Nunes.
Right, exactly.
That's what happened with her, right?
Exactly. 100% that was Amanda Nunes. But now Amanda Nunes felt that pressure. Now she felt that downfall. Now I feel like she could be hungrier here because she was proven she was like, look, she was dominant for so long, and now she got beaten, and I think she's gonna come back a lot stronger, a lot better here in this fight. At the same time, I think Juliana Pena knows that she can't let up, that she knows that she has to train not just as hard when she was trying to go for the title. She has to train even harder than that to keep it. Because it's one thing to become a champion, it's another to defend that championship.
Right.
And for that reason, I'm gonna give it
Great.
to Julia. I'm gonna give it to Juliana Pena. But again, it's like a very slim margin, man. It's look, I'm a
So you
betting man.
agree? So you agree with me, Juliana Pena?
I agree with you, but I am a betting man, and because I'm a betting man, I'm not gonna bet on this fight. I don't know what as much as I say Juliana Pena is gonna win, Ricky, I'm not
Another
that
reason I
confident.
feel is because I think Amanda Nunes, I think that I don't know if she still has that hunger anymore, like you said. I don't believe it's there anymore. I think she's been, she's been on top for so long. She's been dominant for so long. And when by the time Juliana Pena got to her, she was already. Who knows if some say that she didn't even take this fight seriously, right? Who knows? But I just don't feel like maybe the hunger's there anymore for Amanda Nunes. That's my opinion. But we'll see. We'll see when fight night comes, and if she still wants to, if she wants to regain that title back and regain, the top spot in this division.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're all gonna find out this Saturday for sure. Our boy Edward Prado says Amanda made a business decision. She didn't have it that day. She'll come back vicious. I think we're all in agreement there that we know how deadly she can be. And if she comes back 10 times hungrier than she was before, Juliana Pena's title run might be short lived, Ricky. Might be short lived.
It could be. That depends on that depends if the lioness shows up that night. If the lioness herself shows up.
Yeah.
So
Only,
yeah,
well,
I'm very excited for this fight, man. I've been looking forward to this one
yep.
because of how great the first. I love the first fight, man. It was such a great fight.
It really was.
It really was. I rewatched it again. On the UFC's page on YouTube, man. The fight, it was just an amazing fight, and it pumped me up even more for this rematch.
Not to mention it gave us that that I love those looks when they have the camera on the commentators when the decision was made, like how crazy they went, how excited they were
Yeah, Joe
for Juliana
Rogan,
Pena, Joe
Joe
Rogan, DC,
DC, and John Anik. Yeah,
and yeah, they were
yeah.
they
Those
were they
those
were
those
pumped.
those those, those three make a great team, man.
They really do.
I
They
still
really
love
do.
the original. I still love the original duo of Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg. You know,
Look,
back in the days.
that team was iconic, but this I'll tell you what, this team is a good comp. It's a
This
good
is
comp,
this is good. Yeah, this is good.
100%. 100%. Right, Ricky. Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France. It looked like we were on track for a rare fourth fight in the UFC Flyweight Championship saga between Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. But UFC pivoted to an unexpected interim title fight between Moreno and Kara France because of an injury to the current title holder, Davison Figueiredo. Moreno and Ferreira, Ricky, they're pretty much the 1A, 1B of this flyweight division. But now here's Kara France, and he's primed to complicate that picture. He's also a teammate of UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya and featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski. So you know this guy, he's coming from a great camp. You know this guy has he has what it takes to be in this title picture, Ricky.
Yes.
And now here he is. He packs a wallop in his fist, man. And he finally showed off that power and fights against Askarov, Cody Gambit, and Rogerio. I can't even, man. I'm butchering these names, but look, that's just how I am, right?
Bontorin.
Yes. Plus, these two put on a class performance when they met the first time in 2019, and Moreno earned the unanimous decision. So here we have the second fight between the two. This time for the interim featherweight champion, Ricky. Do you see Brandon Moreno becoming a two-time champion, or can you see Kara France, like I said, complicating the title picture, man?
Yeah, ditto on the first one, man. I see Brandon Moreno winning this fight. This is going to be a good fight too, because the first one was really good. This one is going 5 rounds. This is going to be a war between these guys, man. Both these guys. I mean, Kai Kara France is on a roll. He has a lot of power in his hands too, and you know, and Moreno. We see what Moreno's about, man. The fight, the Mexican fighting spirit that he brings into the cage, and he's in there, man. He fights like a straight up fucking dog, man. So this is going to be a great fight. Great fight. But I'm giving it to Moreno, man, because it's just like you said, him and Davison Figueiredo, they're the A and B in this division, man. These are the two top guys in that division. There's not, and there's not a lot of depth in this division as well. And I see, Kai Kara France too. I put him in, right there as number 3. So with that said, like I said, Moreno's gonna win this fight, I believe, and we're gonna see that rare fourth fight that you don't normally see in combat sports like that. The only one I ever think is in boxing with Marquez and Pacquiao.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what that reminds me of here. With two guys that are so good, they're so good that they couldn't definitively beat the other guy. It's just a straight up war. So that's why I see Moreno and Figueiredo. So yeah, for the interim title, I got Brandon Moreno.
I agree with you 100%. I think Brandon Moreno is mad. I think he's disappointed from his last fight when he lost the championship in his first title defense against David Figueiredo. I think he wins it back here, Ricky, leading back to a winner take all fourth fight. Who's the undisputed champ between him and Davison Figueiredo? I think it's only right. But I agree with you. If there's anybody that could spoil it, it's Kara France.
It's Kara France, yeah.
It's Kara France, but I want to pick Moreno because I love the guy. He's amazing. Him winning it for the first time, the emotion, representing Mexico. One of the first Mexican UFC champion. That bodes well with me. So I definitely want to see him win. Selfishly for those reasons, but Kai Kara France, man, he's the real deal. So
it
should be a good fight.
It's gonna be very good, very good. It's gonna be another stand-up war between the two guys. Just like the first fight. The first fight was just excellent. But Moreno, yeah, he's destined. I believe he's destined for a fourth fight with Figueiredo.
Yep.
So this will be fun to see for sure.
It has to happen, Ricky. This card is sneaky good, man. You're seeing, the UFC is coming out with other cards, and you see all these matches that are coming. You're like, oh my god, I can't wait for this. Can't wait for this. Do not sleep on this card. These two fights that you see right now are big, are massive for those watching. And there's a third fight right before this one, Ricky. It's between Derek Lewis. I'm sorry, Derek Lewis and Sergey. So how do you say Sergey?
Pavlovich.
Sergey Pavlovich, Ricky. A heavyweight bout between two heavy hitters. Real quickly, who do you think wins this one and why?
The king of the knockouts. The king of the knockouts himself. Derek Lewis is going to record number 14 to his resume as with the most knockouts, not just in heavyweight history, but in UFC history, period.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, I'm rooting for my guy here, man. He's had a few setbacks, but he can rebound with this one, man, and go and retain his spot in the record books for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I believe that. I believe that too. 100%. I think Derek Lewis knocks him out. I think Derek Lewis breaks that record. I think Derek Lewis, gets one step closer to maybe, hopefully, get one step closer to getting to that heavyweight championship that he's always wanted. But regardless of the fact, this should be a good fight. This should be a good card. And yeah, man, I'm excited for it. How excited are you, Ricky, for this card coming up?
Very, very excited. Especially for that main event. I am just waiting to see what's gonna happen, man. Because the way the first fight went, even though I have Juliana Pena winning this fight, Amanda Nunes could. I mean, I'm really curious to see which Amanda Nunes shows up that night.
Yeah.
So the greatest of all time, Amanda Nunes, the lioness, or just a shell of her former self. But maybe it's too soon to say that. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's way too soon to say that, but we're gonna find out this Saturday night for sure. Let's move on, Ricky, to WWE. Huge news came last week as you're watching Sports Drip Live here with my brother Ricky Contreras. My name is Jose Contreras. Edward Prado says he got 5 on Amanda. Okay,
there we go.
I got 5 on it. I see you. Okay, but we're gonna raise that 5. I'm telling you, that's the one fight I won't make a bet on, man. I always almost bet on every UFC fight. But that fight got me. I'm a little scared. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared. But getting into the WWE, Ricky, Vince McMahon retired. Not now. You and I, we both came in a couple of weeks ago. We were laughing on how hard he was trolling, not just the WWE universe, but just everybody in general, because of as soon as these allegations came out, it was almost like he really didn't give a fuck. He came out on SmackDown, then came out on Raw, just to come out,
just telling everybody I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly.
That's basically what he was saying.
So basically what he was saying, he's not going anywhere. And now we had news this past week that he was forced to retire, or at least maybe not forced to retire, but we know damn well if he didn't have to retire, he would still be doing what he's doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He was forced. He was forced.
He was forced to retire. Yes, I think it's safe to say he was forced to retire. Now that being said, although a lot of fans were booing, a lot of fans were sad that he has to retire at 77 years old. I'm not one of those fans, Ricky. I'm not one of those fans, and this is the reason why. Now that Vince McMahon is out of the picture, you get the game, the cerebral assassin, Triple H, back into creative where he should be, where he belongs. Because although NXT didn't beat AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars, I was a huge fan of NXT when Triple H was head of creative. Because you had stars like Johnny Gargano, you had stars like Adam Cole, baby, you had stars like Aleister Black, Andrade Cien Almas when he was there. Those guys thrived. Tommaso Ciampa, how dominant was Tommaso Ciampa under Triple H and NXT? Right. What the hell is Tommaso Ciampa doing now? Well, he's in the big leagues. Look, Vince McMahon was a great owner for many years. The reason why that company is $1 billion company is because of Vince McMahon. You cannot take that away from him at all, ever. But the man did not know how to. He didn't know how to. He didn't know what to do with these younger wrestlers, with this new generation.
No,
he didn't know how to please the fans. Because again, we get the same thing over and over and over and over again. But now he's gone. Triple H is in here. Triple H is head of creative. You have Stephanie McMahon as CEO, right there next to Nick Khan. So Triple H is doing his job as head of creative. he also came out, Ricky said he wants to make a big splash at SummerSlam, which would be the first pay-per-view where he's actually in control. Now, I do hear that SummerSlam's the plans are already locked in from Vince McMahon, so they don't expect too much of a change, but he does want to make a splash with that being his first major show running things,
Right.
Since he took over. So I have questions for you, Ricky, but real quick, let me just get this out, okay? Because with these questions, there's just a lot going on, right? So with that being said, before we even go on, so here's the question. So what happens from WWE going forward? Do you think this product can be better with Vince out and Triple H at the helm?
I mean, I cannot see it get any worse. That's for sure. I cannot see it get any worse. I mean, it can only have gotten worse if Vince McMahon was still in power. But with Triple H at the helm, running creative, Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan, co-CEOs doing the business side, I can only see things getting. If NXT, the old NXT, the black and gold NXT, is any indication of what Triple H can do as head of creative, then I'm very confident that this product is going to get a lot better, and it's going to be a lot more tolerable, either better or more tolerable to watch. Because remember, Monday Night Raw is still 3 hours. Hopefully they'll change that sometime down the line, because 3 hours is too much. But nonetheless, man, I can only see things getting better with Triple H as head of creative.
I agree with you. I do see it getting better, right? As long as Stephanie and Nick Khan don't give in to the demands of it. Do you really think Vince McMahon is just going to stay on the sideline? You don't think he's going to have some say from home? You don't think he's going to call Steph, hey, make sure this happens? Or you don't think they're going to have Zoom? Ricky, we're in 2022. You don't have to be in the same room to call the shots. Let's be honest.
Right.
With technology today, you don't have to be in the same room. For all we know, he could probably still be back there. We really don't know.
We really don't. We really don't. Yeah, that's why I'm still a little skeptical, a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I do think he's out of the position. I do think he's gone. But I mean, Vince McMahon is a workaholic. He's a control freak. That's just in his nature. What's he gonna do for the rest of his life? Even at 77 years old, most 77-year-olds are glad to sit at home and retire and live out the rest of their days just at home. At home. That's not Vince McMahon.
Right.
It's never been Vince McMahon. And I never thought this day would come, this soon at least, because I thought this guy was gonna live up to 100 and then die in that chair.
Exactly. Me too. We were gonna have that. We were gonna have those episodes. The episode that remembering Vince McMahon episode. The tribute to him and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, they were gonna find that dude just slumped over in his chair, and then that was it. That was with the headset still on.
Right.
His last words being "damn it, pal" or whatever.
Damn it, pal.
Damn it,
Good
pal.
shit. Good shit.
Good shit.
Oh, for real though. So going forward, right? I agree with you. I know Eric said we still can't have that. Of course we still can. We will, right? And we will 100%. God forbid if he would pass away. We wouldn't want him to pass away, obviously not. But that being said, Ricky, this is where this gets interesting for me. Okay,
right.
If Vince McMahon is out of the picture legitimately, okay, and Triple H is in charge of creative, that bodes well for WWE and its talent in the future. That bodes well for WWE in general, and this is the reason why. I think the one thing that WWE lacked that AEW had and gained was the fact that they listened to their wrestlers. Was the fact that the wrestlers in general they have more of a say-so in their character, and they want to in the way they would want to portray themselves, in the way they would want their matches to go. It's not. I still think WWE is going to be way more scripted than it should be, but I think they're going to let loose a little bit. If it's going to be anything, as you mentioned, like the black and yellow, the black and gold, whatever you want to say, NXT days, then I'm all for it. The one thing we've seen so far as of late is the pace. The pace is a little bit faster. I know it's only been one show in Raw, but that's what Triple H brought to the table right away. But the pace of these matches, the pace of the fights, you don't see as much. You're not going to see as much drama. You're going to see a lot more. I mean, you're going to get drama, but you're going to see a lot more matches, a lot more storytelling.
Right.
And I like that. You know what I mean? I really did like that. But as I was mentioning, this is where it gets interesting to me, because there's been articles that I've been reading online, and a lot of them say that they talked to former NXT talent and free agents who said Triple H being in his new position of power changes things. Former talent would have likely signed to stay. And even the top free agent apparently said that this greatly increases the possibility that they will come back to WWE.
Yep.
One of the many narratives out there, Ricky, is that that's emerged from these, unprecedented past. I can't even talk today. One of the many narratives that emerge from this past week in pro wrestling is that Triple H's return to power at WWE makes it a much more attractive landing spot for future free agents. There's even rumors that are saying that wrestlers who have signed with AEW in the past year might have remained with WWE had Triple H and Stephanie been in charge sooner.
Yeah, that no doubt. I don't doubt that for 1 second. I don't doubt it at all.
And that's where it gets interesting to me, right? Because again, AEW thrived on grabbing talent from WWE. AEW thrived. Like, think about it. Where would they be right now? CM Punk is a huge star. They would be in good hands. Don't get me wrong, because we know damn well he wasn't going back to WWE. Right. We know for damn sure he still won't go back because a lot of his issues were with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Right?
Yeah.
But stars like Daniel Bryan, stars like Aleister Black, maybe even Andrade,
Adam Cole,
exactly. Adam Cole, Samoa Joe probably would have never got released. So think about it. Think about what AEW would be today had Triple H have been head of creative in the big shows, Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would. If this would have happened a lot sooner, I can almost guarantee that more than half of those guys would have never left. They would have signed a new contract with the WWE. Hell, as we stand here right now, there's even a possibility that Sasha Banks might even come back.
And that I'm glad you went there. She is somebody that AEW, I'm pretty sure we're banking on coming, with the drama that she had going on. But you're 100% right. You're 100% right. You don't think Triple H, hey, come back, we'll take care of you.
Right? Same thing with Naomi. I always thought Naomi was going to come back, but Sasha, I thought she was as good as gone. And then this happens, and now I'm not anymore. I don't know if she's like, fuck it, I still don't trust WWE and I'll leave, or she probably has a good relationship with Triple H and like, yeah, I can see change happening now, and I'll be back. So, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Edward Prado in the comments says bring back Wyatt. I don't see why they wouldn't. But if I'm AEW, I will do whatever I can to bring him back. I mean, not to bring him back, but to bring him in too.
WWE, yeah. But I think he's as good. I think he's good to come back to WWE now. I'm pretty sure he'll be back.
This leaves the door open for many things, right? You've already had Cody Rhodes before all this happened come to WWE, and you see the success he had immediately. That's not saying that all AEW guys are going to come to WWE and have that same success, but that's just saying that there is an opportunity, and that's all you need is an opportunity, right?
Yeah, right.
That's all you need is an opportunity. I mean, you don't think that MJF bit, right, was real? If you don't think it was real, you might as well think it's real now, because I'm pretty sure the guy's looking at, hey, I can make way more money, and maybe even, be given better opportunities there. But we'll see, right? That being said, speaking of AEW, Ricky and Tony Khan, he, with all this happening, he's also been on, there's also headlines coming in from him during one of his regular appearances on Busted Open today. AEW Ring of Honor owner Tony Khan pushed back on those statements that I mentioned earlier. And he also clarified that the two of the ex-WWE talents he signed are on a 5-year deals and are not going anywhere anytime soon. He said there's a lot of change. This is him. This is from Tony Khan, and quote, there's a lot of changes in pro wrestling. I think it's going to be really positive for the fans overall. I'm a little amused that changes in the competition, people think it's just going to be magically changed. And, I guess it's magically going to change the landscape Like some of these accounts can be very like Twitter, for example, can be a very fun place to follow. But some of the narratives I've seen every day for the last week are really amusing to me. I got people signed here for 5 years, and people think that they're just gonna. And people think that just because the guy, the CEO, the chairman, the head of creative, is just changed those positions. In competition, people I have 5 year contracts with are just gonna magically gonna switch up and leave. Like, good luck with that. Adam Cole is signed until about 2027. So I wouldn't expect to see him going anywhere anytime soon. Malachi Black got like almost 5 years left on his deal. I wouldn't expect to see him going anywhere anytime soon. So just because these guys had some success under a previous administration somewhere else, they're not magically going to be going anywhere. Those are two people I really like, just as examples of people that have worked under me that previous. I'm sorry. Those are two people I really like, just as examples of people that have worked under that previous administration. I'm very amused by that. That's a narrative I see so-called wrestling writers pushing every day, and it's pretty amusing. Ricky, the question is for you and for everybody in the comments. Does Tony Khan have something to be worried about?
I say yes and no. All right. And the reason is because here's another thing we didn't bring up about this new regime happening in WWE. Even though it's gonna be, new creative, fresh vision, to both Raw and SmackDown. You got to remember, this is still an entertainment company. It's still in the name, World Wrestling Entertainment. So Triple H, I don't see him turning. I don't see him turning. You know, the main roster like how it was in NXT. A straight. I mean, because let's be honest, the original NXT, the Black and Gold, it was like a super indie show,
Yeah.
right? And it doesn't, and it didn't do well in the ratings itself when it was like that. So bringing it up to the main roster, that's a new audience, and I don't see, I mean, like a night and day change, like how like how that was. I don't see it. I don't see it that way.
Right.
So he's still. I mean, we're probably still gonna see a lot of childish humor, and this and that, like the entertainment stuff. So yeah, that's the reason why I say yes and no, because even though it's gonna be different, it might not be all that different. It could be better, but it might not be too different to what it always was.
Right. Right. Edward Pryor says yes. That to the question, when I asked if Tony Khan should be worried, he said yes, he should be worried because Triple H is an actual wrestler and producer and not a mark with money.
That's true. He's a money mark.
He's a money mark. Also goes on and says Tony Khan is a clown. But he has a good question, Ricky, and I think it's a good question we should answer. Does Triple H being in charge change Cody's push because of the beef they had? And for me, I don't think it changes his push because I think Triple H knows what Cody is. Cody right now could be your Roman Reigns replacement. He could be the next big baby face of the company. Because it seemed like he had that hype and he had that potential when he came back. Had he not got injured, you would see this guy, in some big matchups right now. He would probably main event SummerSlam. I wouldn't doubt it 100. I wouldn't doubt it at all. So I don't think it changes the push. I think they squash it. I think they've already squashed it. I don't think Cody Rhodes comes back
I think it's already
without squashing it. You know what I mean? What do you think,
right.
Ricky?
Yeah. I don't think it affects his push at all. I mean, if anything, he's said in many interviews that he admires Triple H.
Yeah,
and he's always looked up to him. And I guess the things that he did in AEW was just I guess competition. I guess friendly competition.
it's in a spirit of competition.
Yeah, that's all I see it is. And yeah, when he comes back, I could see Triple H still pushing this dude, to the main event scene eventually. So yeah, he's not in trouble.
No, not at all.
Not at
I
all.
have a good question that just came to my head right now, right? Because for those who don't know, if you guys watch this show consistently, I'm a huge fan of Bobby Roode. I don't know how many. I can't go a show without mentioning him, right? The glorious Bobby Roode. I'm a huge fan. When he was in NXT, he was such a great heel. He was such a great champion. the matches he had with Andrade, the matches he had with Drew McIntyre, just any match they put
even before that, and when he was in TNA.
Yes,
he was such a great. He was in a tag team, and then he went off on his own, became a great heel in the company.
Right.
So it goes back to TNA. He was always good.
Yeah, I miss Beer Money. Exactly.
Beer Money. Yep.
Right.
That was a tag team.
Right. But that's the thing, right? Like, I have high hopes for him now, Ricky. You know what I mean? Triple H being a creative. Come on, bring back, free my boy Bobby Roode. Triple H, free him. Free Bobby Roode. I wanted to see the glorious Bobby Roode back. I want to see him as a heel. I want to see him in title contention because he has that potential. Look at FTR. What they're doing to Bobby Roode, they were doing to the Revival in WWE. Now look at them, bro. They're over like a motherfucker in AEW.
Yeah,
they are the top tag team right now.
100%. 100%. Yeah,
100%.
They deserve that spot, man. Those guys are great.
Right. And that is where I feel AEW thrives in. They can do that for stars that weren't getting that in WWE.
Yeah,
and that's why I feel like this change in creative hurts AEW because
it does.
Because if you are Triple H, you know that's what was going on in WWE. You know, once they get to Vince McMahon, their careers plummet. You know that. So you change that because again, you have competition.
Yeah.
That will just steal your guys.
That's why I say it's a yes and no. I mean, this could definitely hurt Tony Khan a lot because a lot of guys that because a lot of guys that probably see, greener pastures in the WWE might want to go over there now because the old man is gone now. Triple H is in charge. I think he'll do right by me over there. That could definitely happen. And another thing, and just like I said, this is still an entertainment company. Not everybody can fit that. Not everybody can do the comedy entertainment stuff that WWE does. The scripted promos. I mean, I think Triple H will allow some leeway into some of the promos, but I still think
100%.
I still think they're going to be scripted though, because this is still a publicly traded company, and they still have sponsors to answer to. So
I mean, they have changed from PG-13 or whatever it was before. I don't know what it was before to TV. Was it TV-14 or something like that? It was something like that. Which means they can get a little bit more roster. But I think that has more to do with NXT than usual. If you look at NXT, you said it yourself. They thrive on the sex factor there, man. You know what I mean? The sex appeal.
The one that's going on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a thirst trap.
It's a thirst trap. Exactly. NXT right now, but it's pretty good. I'm not gonna. I do watch NXT from time to time, and they do have good matches. They have stars. They have great up and coming stars.
Yep.
So now I feel comfortable for them. Now I feel great knowing Triple H is at the helm. But we have a comment here, Ricky, that I wanted to get it. That I think this is a good question from Mondo Daniel. Thank you for first and foremost, bro, for watching us. But do you think MJF will make the jump to WWE, or do you believe it's a work of AEW? What do you think?
I think it's a work. I think it's always been a work. I mean, look, I think it's a work shoot. I think those are real feelings that MJF does have.
Right.
Because he hit the nail on the head when he said you're signing all these ex WWE guys and paying them more than guys like me who's been here since day one, and I'm responsible for the ratings being up as they are, when they were up. So I think it was a work and with some reality with it. And I think the plan right now is when CM Punk comes back, I can see MJF and CM Punk going, doing another match for the AEW World Title, and this time MJF becomes AEW World Champion.
I can see that too. I can see that.
I think that's probably the current plan right now.
I hope so. Look, Daniel Bryan comes back. He's already coming back. He's slated to return, I think, tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Or today. I think he came back today. He came back tonight, actually.
You sound like JR on commentary. It's
right.
Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson.
Bryan Danielson. Good old JR. Hey, that's a good compliment, man. I'll take that. That's a legend, right?
Well, that's a legend, but that's not meant as a compliment.
I get you. Look,
he's been off lately.
Yeah,
he's older now.
That's why he only does 1 hour, I think, of the show. they have fast now. Yeah. But what was I gonna say? He comes back. He came back tonight. Kenny Omega is slated to return soon. CM Punk is also slated to return soon. You know what I mean? So again, AEW has not had all their stars fully healthy. Imagine when they do. This is going to be a good competition between both. And now MJF, like as you were just talking about, I think it's a work shoot too. I think he was slated for some vacation time. So like, you know what, how do we get you to that? Let's do it this way. It's great for TV. We have a storyline when you come back, right? You could be the rebel, you could be whatever it is. Like you know, it could be like the Stone Cold Mr. Man kind of thing. AEW can do a lot with that. Let's be honest. Right? They have something there with MJF. He is a future star. He's probably the one guy on your roster you don't want going to the WWE. And that's saying something because I just mentioned a plethora of stars you have already. I wouldn't want MJF going over there. I hope he stays in AEW.
Even under Triple H, you wouldn't want him to go.
Yeah, even under Triple H, because he doesn't really fit the mold size-wise that they usually have. But hopefully that perception changes now that Triple H is over. You know what I mean? Now that Triple H is there. Hopefully that perception changes. You don't just see the big guys dominate, because let's be honest, sometimes the big guys are limited from doing
I think the main thing is the scripted promos. That's what I see MJF does not fit when it comes to WWE. That's how I see it, because I think there's still going to be scripted promos, and MJF is not going to thrive in the WWE environment, much like how Cody Rhodes does now.
Right. Well, my boy Prada says some guys need producers and scripts. AEW can get sloppy. That's true.
That is true.
That is true. They really can get sloppy, no doubt about it. Eric said, let's go to MA. Let's bring back the Attitude Era. That's not gonna happen, bro, anytime soon.
I would love it though.
Absolutely.
I would love it. I mean, but it's never gonna happen. I mean, we live in a different world now. Everybody's offended about anything now. So nah, it ain't happening, man.
They presented the Trios Team Championships today. Wow, really? At AEW, what match would you guys like to see? And should we make WWE? Should WWE make Trios Team? I didn't even know that was possible. I didn't even know what that was a thing. A trio?
No. Actually, I heard of rumors that they were trying to do that for a while now. That the belts were even made.
That makes sense, Ricky, because AEW, you and I talked about it in like a couple episodes. They're known for having so many damn factions, and we're like, what the hell's going on here? Why do you have
gang warfare?
Right, it's exactly like a gang warfare. Exactly, you have all these different factions going against each other. And don't get me wrong, I get why you do it. When you have all that talent, they need TV time, right? I get it. You gotta showcase them. So what better way to do it when they're all together? I get it, right?
As far as what match you guys that do I want to see? I want to see the Death Triangle, which is Phoenix, Penta, and Pac.
Yep.
Against the House of Black.
Oh no, you're trolling. You're trolling us right now.
You saying me?
Yeah. How many times, Ricky? How many times have they made that match already? They've done it for like almost 2 months straight, bro.
Yeah, but for the belts this time.
Okay, I get it. I get it now. There's compensation for it, right? Okay, come on. How many times have we seen that match, bro? That match
true.
They kind of overdone it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, I'll throw another one. If I can think of one right now, actually. Let's see. What if CM Punk comes back and teams up with FTR against? The Blackpool Combat Club.
Yes, that's right.
Bryan Danielson, Claudio, and John Moxley against CM Punk and FTR. Imagine that match.
It'd be a good match. It'd be a good. Match. Our boy Prada has one better. He says the Undisputed Era versus the Elite.
Yeah, when Kenny comes back. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Adam Cole, baby, and what's his name?
I think he also asked if
O'Reilly, huh?
I think he also asked if WWE should get him, right?
Yes, if WWE should do that. I think so. Eventually, you got to wait. Now that AEW did it, you got to wait. You don't want to be a copycat.
Yeah,
you don't want to be a copycat, but I think eventually, yeah.
It would have been perfect for the New Day. It would have been if they would have done it a while back,
dude.
Because the New Day, the New Day is a trio. They've always been a trio. Just imagine. I mean, that would have been perfect for those guys. Hopefully Big E. Hopefully, man. Yeah, man. I'm still sad about Big E, man. But I think hopefully he comes back.
Yeah, no. I've been reading a little bit about that, man. It's up in the air for right now. I don't think it's
Yeah,
for sure
yeah.
that he can, but hopefully he does. But you're right. That would have been great for the New Day. But let's be honest, they probably would have been like the 12th time three trios champion by now. You know what I mean, how many times have they thrown the tag team championships on the New Day and the Usos?
Yeah,
They're,
how
they're,
many
they're
matches
gonna
have
be
those? How many matches have those guys had? Yeah,
exactly. Bro, by the time their careers end, both teams they're gonna be 20-time champion, both of them. They're gonna, you know what I mean. They're
yeah.
gonna have a record. You know, it's like they're gonna have the record. It makes no sense. Um, Probably came up with another good one though. He says House of Black, Death Triangle, and Undisputed Elite all in a match.
Well, yeah,
That's interesting.
that's AEW specialty. They like doing triple tag team matches.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, right. So might as well do it for belts. I mean, I think that's where Tony Khan is pretty smart. Like you're gonna have a lot of these matches because you got to showcase a lot of the talent. So let's at least make it for something. Let's make it worthwhile. That's kudos to him and AEW for doing that. I think it was a great idea. And I forgot Prada was there. He said he was there when MGF gave that promo. He said it was biblical.
wow, he was there, huh?
Yeah, he was there. So
Fire in the last. I remember the last thing you said that they blew
fire
it
me,
up.
Tony. I'm gonna use that. Don't worry. I'm making.
Fire me, you fucking Mark.
Right. I'm gonna use that as audio for us here, especially because they call me Tony. Definitely got to use that for sure. But guys, you have listened to the Sports Drip Live podcast. Wow, an hour went by quick, man. It goes by fast when you're having fun, Ricky.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us, guys, on all our social media platforms that we go live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter every Wednesday. So yeah, guys, continue to follow us. This episode will be broadcast and will be produced and edited and put on Spotify tomorrow. If you guys want to catch it again, YouTube is the place to do it. You guys can catch this episode on our YouTube channel, on our YouTube page at JCA Sports. That's at JCA Sports. You'll be able to see me and my brother. You can watch all our past episodes and all our current and future episodes as well. Thank you for everybody in the comments. Our boy Edward Prado, man, we appreciate you tuning in. Mondo, thank you, bro. Really good podcast. We really, really appreciate you tuning in, bro.
Thank you.
Make sure to follow us. And yeah, we definitely like to see you guys very, very soon. Eric, boy, Eric, go ahead.
Well, what did Eric say?
He just said, "No, I'm just thanking Eric. I'm just thanking our boy Eric for hopping on and giving us the."
Let me say this too, though, man, about Vince McMahon. Let's get back to Vince McMahon real quick before we go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, now look, he didn't look. He was forced to resign, man. But there was a reason for it. I'm not sure if you read this, but now the federal government is investigating Vince McMahon.
I did not read this
with these sexual allegations. Apparently, he made payments of $14.6 million from 2006 through 2022.
Holy shit!
And they're investigating. The federal government is investigating right now because these are earnings that are supposed to be reported through the company.
No way! Oh shit!
Yes. Not only that, but then there's an HBO special coming out that is about to. I mean, there's a lot of There's a reason why he left. Dude. This is getting worse for Vince McMahon, man, bro. It's getting worse for him.
Damn, I feel bad for laughing right now, but at the same time, it's kind of like, hey, look, you do this to yourself. Okay, I'm sorry, but
there's gonna be an HBO expose on them that they're probably gonna interview a lot of the past wrestlers that he supposedly was harassing, and dude, it's just getting interesting as time goes by.
But I'll tell you what, that sucks because for someone who poured literally your entire life, this is a company that's been passed down from his dad, his granddad. For you to have your whole life and for it to end like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, man. We know the kind of man Vince McMahon is. He will not voluntarily walk away from this. This is his life. This has always been his life. So it had to be something very, very serious that he decided, you know what? Making up a bullshit statement that I'm 77 and I need to retire. No, that's bullshit, man. Things are getting worse, and this saga ain't over, man. I have a feeling we're gonna talk more about Vince McMahon as we continue making more shows every week.
Well, that's a good way to plug our show, guys. If you want to make sure you listen to all the news that comes out in wrestling, and again, we talk more than just wrestling, guys. We go into WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, and all that, but we'll go into UFC as we did in the beginning of the show. We'll talk Bellator. We'll talk boxing. This is a sports combat show. We get into the stuff that you don't normally hear on the radio. You know, you hear NFL, MLB, NBA, rightfully so, NHL, because those are, soccer. Those are the top sports.
Yeah, big
The
four.
sports like UFC, MMA, wrestling, we got you covered. We got you covered here. So make sure to follow us again at Sports Drip Live on JCA Sports at Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So yeah, Ricky, good. I'm glad you brought that up because we're definitely gonna be covering that throughout its entirety. So thank you all again for listening. Thank you all again for watching. For my brother Ricky Contreras, my name is Jose Contreras. Guys, we